We give you the real, like you popping a red pill. Ain't no time for acting, it's like camera action. Real life is a script, real talk is what it is. Enlighten your success, we back at it again. Until you can't filter it, it's raw, uncut, no taste.
Yo, world, what's going on? This is your boy DJ Talented in the building, and I'll be the host for the show today. And this is the real,
the raw,
and the rugged. We're going to tone it down for the youngins in the building right now. To my right, I have
Miss Entertainment.
And to my left, we have
Lauren, Renaya,
Isaac Bobo,
Dr. Nafisatu Celestine Dambo, Ariel.
And this is the acronym Girls and Guys. How y'all doing today?
Well, how are you?
Good, good.
Good.
I'm good. So what does Girls and Guys stand for?
Girls stands for Genuine, Intelligent, Respectful Lady Soaring. We also have the Girls Extension, which is Guys, which means Genuine, Upstanding Young Men Soaring.
All right.
Great, great. So when was Girls and Guys started?
Girls began in 2007.
What made you do this? What made you bring this up? Put this in the world?
Really looking at God's calling, and so what He wants us to making sure we're giving back and looking at the needs of the youth in the program. I mean, the needs of the youth in our communities, and the direction that we really want them to go, and looking at a collaborative approach. And so really looking at the holistic needs. So, of course, they have different programs that might come and go, and a lot of times they're being serviced at different levels. But we're looking at, from my particular background, how are we making sure that we're not only preparing them to navigate high school or navigate middle school, but how are we preparing them to transition into adulthood? And so that transition is so critical, and not just transition, but successfully transition. So whatever goals and things of that nature they may have, that they're actually completing those goals. So actually transitioning, knowing and understanding what that looks like, such as college. So what are the expectations? How do I be successful when I go to college? And understand that it's an attainable goal. And also what those transitions, so similar things would be like literacy, financial literacy, things such as different life skills. How do I know how to navigate social skills? In addition to the academic and career preparation. So with all that being said, the Girls is a holistic program that supports the academic, career, and socio-emotional development of students. We have designed our program for students to gain the skills and exposure to come what they will in life. The diverse aspects needed are systematically integrated within Girls program components as students matriculate through high school and transition into adulthood. Activities include workshops, college tours, cultural activities, volunteering, job shadows, internships, conferences, tutoring, life skills, mentoring, academic monitoring, and opportunities to serve in leadership roles. The program provides the support and exposure needed to be a great candidate for scholarships and colleges. We enjoy investing in our youth through continued family, school, community partnerships. And we also have a website, which is wearegirls.org, WERGIRLS.org. And so basically all of these components are to make sure that the students have what they need to basically be competitive in the field, so they have the option to actually choose and select what schools and universities they want to go to. They have the options to select and choose what type of jobs and careers they want to have, what type of internships they want to have, so they don't feel like they're just accepting what's being given unto them, or they don't have a choice. And so understanding that it's more to the world, and always encourage them to reach for the stars. Okay. And understanding that, like, entrepreneurship, so how to basically maximize different opportunities and making sure that they are exposed, so they know what's actually available.
Good. So you've been doing this for a while. What is one of your success stories?
Ooh, one of the success stories. We have so many. We have
best one.
You said just one.
No, I said your best one. What's the first one that comes to mind?
Success stories. When I think of success stories, I think of our alumni that have been able to transition and come back and give to the program. So they went off to college, come back, and they serve on the actual board of directors now.
Wow.
We have individuals that have went on to law school and actually completed law school and now practice law. We have individuals that are in so many different careers. They have families now, and they're still they learn to build certain kind of characteristics and are still succeeding in life, and they care about other people, which is imperative.
That's great. That's great. That's a good thing. So, ladies, get over here to the shy ones. So, what is the major reason why you joined this?
I joined because of the college opportunities. Yeah.
I joined because I saw like how close that it made everybody in the group and how they all like kind of work together to achieve and do different things. So
And how old are you all?
I'm 17.
So you guys getting ready to graduate soon.
Mhm.
So what are your plans? How's this helped you to move to the next level of graduation?
Well, my plan is to go to college for psychology. I want to work in, like, I want to work with kids with, like, counseling and stuff, mental health, so, like, a therapist. But this helped with, like, we learned a lot of stuff with, like, we did tutoring and stuff like that. We did community
nice.
service. So it gave us different views on people and how they, like, how people move about. So, like, one time we had worked with some people with disabilities and stuff. It's a care center called Swan. And it made me view life different by, like, being able to see them and how they are, how they act and stuff like that. So it, like, made me realize that everybody has different things going on, and it's good to help, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Next, how old are you?
I'm 17 as well. And back to what Lauren said about the volunteering at Swan Care, it helped me open up more and be more talkative because I am quiet.
Yes.
So thanks to girls for that. And I want to thank them for letting me get the opportunity to go to St. Louis because that's where I will be going next year school year.
All right.
So, yeah.
And we're gonna swing back to the guys. What, Dr. D, you got something? I see you.
Yes, thank you. So we have Miss Lauren here. She talked a little bit about her career area. So if Lauren can talk a little bit more about her internship opportunities.
Oh, yeah. I got an internship with PATS. It's a treatment center for, like, people that have been through, like, drug abuse and, like, car accidents and stuff like that. So
Oh, wow.
I worked with the director above it, and we would, like, I would sit in on conferences and listen to how she gets them to see, like, their point in life and how what happened to them basically help them come back together as, like, one without really saying much, literally. But yeah, I worked with her for, like, a year.
Oh,
I
wow.
believe. Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so she had the opportunity to work with group counseling, with groups as well, right, in a counseling center. So I'm glad that she enjoyed that experience.
Good. So, Miss Ariel.
And Miss Ariel is actually Lauren's mother as well.
Oh, okay.
Minister Ariel.
I think I'm Lauren's mom.
I got you. Go ahead.
I've been working with the program for about almost a year. She started as a freshman, and I was just kind of like just on the back end, getting her to places where she needs to go. And then, like, last year, I was kind of like a parent volunteer kind of first experience. And then, like, after that was Dr. D was like, hey, you want to be a part of the, wasn't expecting it, but I just took it as a way of God, like a calling on me as far as working with youth. I did a lot of that with ministry at my church. So, and it gave me an opportunity to be a part of her last, transition to going to high school and getting a little bit more hands-on from that. So it's been a blessing for the both of us. So she's finished with high school now, and she'll be going to school. She got plenty of scholarships and opportunities. Things that she was afraid of, she was able to transition to those things and get into adulthood, like talking to schools and different things, what she wants to do, figuring out her career path and how it fits her own personality, and just open up that door of just, like Renaya said, like being more open and just getting out there and learning new things and seeing different sides of life. So.
Okay.
I'm going to have to say this, Black don't crack, because I didn't know you was a mama.
She looked like she could be a student, too.
I know. I was like, oh, okay.
I get that a lot. She mad about it.
I did not know that. That's why I was like, oh, okay. So, guys, how did that come about? And then I want to hear from the guy. Dr. D, what made you, because you started off with girls, right?
Yes.
And then what made you expand to include the guys?
So we started off with girls, and of course, for several different reasons, really recognizing a lot of times the need for people that truly love and enjoy working with youth to work with the adolescents and adolescent females, because a lot of times people, as far as a female, and it's Women's History Month, let's put that shout out there, but as far as a African-American female, a lot of times I think people don't necessarily know and understand and see the need for our African-American young ladies. And actually, when you really look and delve into the research, there's actually a true need and additional supports that are truly needed. And also that mentorship is definitely is needed. And so knowing what are our young ladies doing, what type of supports do they have, understanding they're wanting this, they want to connect, and they want to even learn about God. So a lot of times even on these trips they're asking different questions and things of that nature. Now when we have the guys come in, it's called Girls Extension, because a lot of the brothers and siblings and the youth in the community are like, well, I want to learn I want to be able to participate in some of these workshops, and sometimes we open them up to the community, and I want to go on college tours and things of that nature. So we had to make sure that we still kept the authenticity of the girls program. And so there's times where they're definitely together, but there's also times where they have to separate. And so we definitely need the male role models so they can basically connect and bond with them as well and have those different conversations where they might need some male mentorship. And like the young ladies need the girls mentorships, or if we're doing a project on hygiene, we go to different places. So we actually go to the dental hygienist like schools, and they talk about the different careers in that area, whether they want to go to school in it or they want to become a professor as a dental basically a dentist, or they want to become a dentist, and in the entrepreneurship area of it. But then we extend that hygiene, because a lot of times people don't think when they just say, oh, hygiene, but that's part of our hygiene. Then we also have to talk about things that are related to puberty and deodorant and things of that nature, but making it very interesting to them. So we might play a charades game as pulling things out, which also allows them to get up there and also use and practice their communication skills. But then there are certain items where we delve into a lot more deeper, and so the males and the females will actually separate out in different sessions, similar to like conferences that we have as adults.
Okay. So let's hear from the guy.
Oh, hey,
Who is the guy? Introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Minister Isaac Bobo, and I'm from Champaign, Illinois as well. I ended up going to school at Northern Illinois University, and my entrance was peaked very, very early. So I was in a program before, and when college students would come out and like expose us to the campus, but before then, I was never really interested or had any interest really in college. I just thought that it was wasn't my style, wasn't for me, the type of lifestyle that I grew up. I didn't think that I would be interested in following that suit. But once I seen the environment, I seen how, the different fraternities and sororities and how they engage and how it levels you up in life, it was enough to make me look further into it. Okay, what do I have to have? What's the GPA? What's the requirements? What ACT scores do I need? I'm playing football. What's the clearinghouses? And these are things that you normally would not even think about asking these questions or searching or looking into it if you never had the exposure. So most people, they say that our people suffer from the lack of knowledge. Yes. And as being a follower of Jesus Christ and a minister, I know that if you can help someone as you pass along, or if you can help add value to someone or something, then your living is not in vain. Therefore, every time that I see something, I want to be able to add value, expand it in any way possible that I can. And so being able to engage and being able to get the exposure to a lot of individuals and help connect the dots, so bridge the gap between the neighborhoods and the communities to the universities, because a lot of universities are not reaching out to the community. You have to actually go to the universities if you want to get any information at all. Mm-hmm. And there's so many different scholarships. People just think automatically, well, I can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? You go to families, they're like, man, I don't even want to look or think about what it may be. And then financial aid, paperwork, people get overwhelmed with their regular day-to-day life.
That's a lot.
So when you can just tap in and you have someone that's already have been through the process and know, the people that never been to it is foreign to them. And so it's not like it's rocket science, but they just have not addressed it. They have not had that type of exposure. And so you ended up not fighting the battle at all because you feel like it's an unwinnable fight. And so it's good to be like, to have a team of individuals to say, hey, look, you're not in the fight alone. If whatever you're doing, we know you have to work. We're going to go and help meet you halfway and help bridge the gap to be able to fulfill your success and education. So I felt like it's an overall blessing just to be a part of it. It's been a joy and ministry to me, just to be able to connect and see the growth, and not just the organization, but in the individuals and the students as well.
Definitely. Very rewarding.
Now, you're a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
Are there any challenges of getting funding? Because, everybody, especially with COVID and people, it just seems like the funding is a little challenged. What are your thoughts on getting funding to, making your program successful?
Yes, it's definitely a challenge. However, we definitely appreciate any donations that come in and people that volunteer and different things of that nature. But we definitely need funding because we're talking about what's sustainable. We need resources, because to truly make sure that we're being effective and we're maintaining things, it costs money. So we can pretend like it doesn't exist, but the reality of we're teaching them about budgeting and we're teaching about financial literacy, and we have them serving in different positions such as financial secretary, and they're planning for different trips. They are able to see that this takes money. This takes finances. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things I definitely we consistently seek different grants and things of the nature, but of course none of that is guaranteed, and so we stay hopeful, we stay prayerful, and we just continue to try. But then you also have to think about the timing of writing grants and things of that nature, because we are not for profit and have just different people pouring in, and we're continuing to grow, and it's our passion and it's our love, and it's a blessing to see the lives that we're contributing and pouring into. And so we won't give up. And so we're really going off of faith and praying that people continue to give and support, because we really, primarily it goes to the youth for them to be able to explore different things. So right now we're on this college tour. We have an international tour coming up, and that's one of the things that keeps coming up is how are we going to financially afford it. But right now, we're walking in faith, definitely walking in faith. And so they have opportunities where they're currently doing a grade-a-thon, where they're basically, instead of a walk-a-thon, I'm not sure if, I'm sure most people are familiar with the walk-a-thon, but basically asking people to donate any amount, or either sponsor an individual, but if they get an A, they can pledge so much for that student's A, or if they get a B, they can pledge so much for that student's B. But those international opportunities and learning about different cultures and being exposed to that, what type of impact that makes. And we know it because we look at the study abroad programs. They're not just putting them in the universities for no reason. They're not just bringing international individuals here and having international programs and things, even within the U.S., for no reason. There's a purpose in that. There's research that has been done. So it is very important and can be very effective. So that's one of our plans for this particular summer. But like you said, back to the necessity of finances and grants and things of that nature, and it has taken a impact. However, we continue to walk in faith. We continue to pray and ask people to provide any type of resource, because we don't have just a grant writer. I have experience with grants from my particular experience, but then at the same time, I have to also assist with programming. So no complaints or anything of that nature, but we have to deal with the reality of things. And so we definitely, resources is a necessity, even when you talk about the educational system and systems that are in place. And so we definitely look at that. But I think to just kind of go off of my experience, to go back to your one of your initial questions about kind of what directed the program to be formed like it is my experience with, I used to be a high school counselor for several years. And so seeing what the needs are and students trying to pull all these different aspects together, where it's like it would be a lot easier if you just created a system to where they have a checklist. So everything they need to be doing, they're actually able to do it within the program. And so they have their resumes written. And then from the university and as being serving as a professor at the university, you also know what the requirements are. And so you basically are bridging all of that, also being a participant in several youth programs growing up and working for several nonprofit youth programs and all of that. It has allowed me to actually try to really bring everything together to truly be a holistic. So not just saying holistic, but truly serving the whole person and understanding the necessity to work with the families. We have amazing parents, and they want the knowledge, they want the information, they want the opportunities, and they love their children. But a lot of times we have to know what direction do you go. You only know what you know, information, and sometimes you have to ask people to share that information. So what we try to create more solid systems, opportunities, and trying to get resources and work with different people so that our students will have the optimal opportunities necessary to continue to soar.
That's great that your parents are involved, because I have a program where I'm partnering with the Boys and Girls Club, talking about media. And I think one of my biggest challenge is getting the parents involved, because if the parents are behind the kids are more engaged.
Definitely.
So that's a great thing that your parents are. So thank you that you guys are, because it's just so important that the parent have to be engaged in that child's success.
Yes.
Now we've talked about all this great stuff. Now, has there been any challenge for just overall for the program itself? I know we talked about funding. Are there any other challenges making sure that this stays successful? She had to think. That's good. That's good.
Big challenge. I mean, like you said, when you know that God has truly directed you in a certain path, and He's giving you the vision of what needs to be done, and you're serving the community. So we look at this as a service, and you're serving. You're pouring into lives, because the ultimate goal is you want to see the students and the communities and the families that you're working with, you want to see them do well.
You want to see
them
thrive.
That is extremely rewarding. However, we also know it takes resources to do that. And we want to see some equity take place. And so we need those, like you said, that's primarily, so we can say it's financial funding, but it's also the resources that takes money to have those resources sometimes. So, of course, we have volunteers come in, but like you said, the sustainability, and so those challenges come with resources. So sometimes if we have more funding, we'll be able to do a lot more things. So we have to think about things. So right now we're in our recruitment process, for instance, and we have to think about how many students are we really able to serve based on our volunteering and our volunteers currently. And because we want to make sure they we want to make sure they truly get what they need. And so but those are real discussions we have to have. And so what students can we provide these opportunities to? Yes, at the time. And families, because each student has different challenges. We know that certain things are to be expected, especially looking at that transition process, but there are certain things that you have to just understand when you truly are working with people and you have relationships with those individual students as well as their families, what that actually looks like. And we, like you said, we do academic monitoring. We literally go into the schools, which I think is helpful. I think sometimes people don't recognize what that is, but just for the students to see you in the schools it makes a difference. It brightens up their day. They see somebody is there advocating for them that has their, they have their back.
Right.
They're wanting to see them succeed and helping them and encouraging them to talk to their counselors, to talk to their deans, to talk to their teachers, because we're holding them accountable as well. So this is a shared process. We say this is your program. So this is your program. You're investing as well. So even on this particular trip, each one of them has a different role that they're playing as far as leadership is concerned as well, like marketing, all of that. They're part of every aspect of it because we want them to take ownership and be prepared when they go to school and college. They can run different RSOs. If they want to start a new organization, they're able to do that because they have the skills to actually be able to do that.
Where have you guys? You saw for the college tour. Where have you been or where are you going with here in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, would you ladies like to start with a few of the universities we visited thus far and where we're going? And I'll fill in.
Okay. So far we have visited Morris Brown, Morehouse, Georgia Tech, and Georgia State University. Tomorrow, I'm not sure yet. So
That's all of them.
yeah.
So we'll also be visiting Clark Atlanta, Kennesaw University, and they're also going to be doing some cultural activities. We have the opportunity for them to participate in some health and wellness. So, of course, we do nutrition and different things like that during our workshops. But their health and wellness, we're saying, like, let's get creative with it. So not just our emotional wellness, our physiological wellness as well. So they actually went skating. And so they had the opportunity to actually
Roller
feel
skating?
what that looks like. Yes, they went to Cascade yesterday.
Girl, my knees still hurt. Last time I went, every time I think about that thing, my knees start throbbing.
Yes, and so that seemed like that was a really good experience.
But it is fun though. But
Yeah, so did
too
you
old for
enjoy
it.
skating? Yes. Yeah, so it seems like it was a really good experience for them. It also allowed them to, like you said, get their blood running, interact, socialize, be out in the community, and see what would it be like to have life, work, academic balance in certain areas. So we try to do that as well as expose them to different cultural activities. So we just went to like some of the Martin Luther King.
good.
Yes, the Martin Luther King House and the Walk of Fame, that whole area. We'll also be visiting the museum and some other cultural and participating in other cultural activities. And we have individuals that's interested in veterinary medicine. So we, of course, we incorporate that as far as the zoo and things of that nature.
The Civil Rights Museum. I hope you guys get a chance to visit that one over there by Coke. I mean, that experience is, I think
It's a hard one.
It's definitely. It gives you a real sense of idea of what our people went through, you know, and it's just giving you a taste of and the courage. That's my thing, the respect for them, the courage for them to do that. And then they were, well, I'll get ready to say your age, but no, because you ain't with them. It's you mama. But it was the young ones that really carried the civil rights movement. It was y'all. It was y'all people, your peers, your age, that was really the foundation of the civil rights movement. So definitely, please embrace that and really, kind of, understand that the fight ain't over. The fight ain't over. Now, we have come a long ways, but we still got a long ways to go. So I'm just, passing that torch. Y'all keep up the fight, because we're going to be, us old folks are looking at y'all. And I'm right there in there, believe it or not. But yes, that the Civil Rights Museum is definitely, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's one you need.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. And what else you got going on? You said you got some nutrition stuff, and now Kennesaw. I'm an alum for Kennesaw, the master's program.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've been to Kennesaw quite a few times. Any colleges y'all a favorite that you've so far you visited or you're looking forward to going to see?
Said I got a Morris Brown. They had
Now Morris Brown.
they visited Morehouse. They went to Morehouse as well, and yeah. Georgia
Clark, because
State,
you haven't been to
Tech.
Clark yet, right?
Clark is, yes, that's coming up soon.
Yeah, Clark should be fine.
Yes, and actually, one of our alumni is currently a senior graduating in May from Clark Atlanta
Nice.
University. She was also the junior class president last year.
Nice. So y'all got some shoes to fill and, do some big things.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
And we try to stay connected with our alumni as well. And once they actually even go off to college, and also let them choose, juniors and seniors, what are some of the universities that you're thinking about so you can go and get exposed and learn about them to see if that's going to be a good fit for you.
Good.
So is there a age limit for the group?
Yeah, so we go 6th through 12th grade. And I know I want to go back to one of your questions. I think you were asking them what was one of their favorite colleges they visited so far.
Mm-hmm. They just said, I don't know.
Probably not here in Atlanta, but in HBCU in St. Louis, which is Harrisville State University.
Okay.
So, yeah, my favorite.
Mine was we went to Nevada and California last year, so my favorite was Nevada State College. It was really beautiful.
So y'all do some traveling, and you mentioned going international. So where are you planning on?
We're kind of keeping that top secret
okay.
now for the international tour. Yes, we're kind of keeping that top secret, but we will definitely get back with you and let you know exactly where that trip is going to
Not
take
Russia,
place.
right?
No. No,
We got a lot going on over there.
Either one of them.
Currently, we're not going to Russia. However, we will be taking our first international trip, and even the process of how we select where we're going is looking at what universities offer free college overseas. So that's how we went through the list. We collected the list of schools, and then we looked at where we might want to go. And so the students still participate in all that decision-making process, which is important to make sure that they have a voice.
Free college, and you don't have to be a citizen? Nice.
Yes, and then it even breaks it down to what languages, if you have to speak their certain language and what language the class is taught in, it breaks everything down. But even some of the previous universities that we've visited in the U.S., they actually had the opportunity to visit 7 of the 8 Ivy League universities on that particular tour. They did 15 universities, so it included HBCUs. It included predominantly white institutions as well. So they went to like Harvard. What are some of the other universities?
Went to Harvard, went to Yale, went to Browns, went to Dartmouth. Pretty much all the Ivy Leagues along that border, we pretty much hit all throughout Boston, Massachusetts, to New York, Columbia.
Nice.
It was a really good experience just to get a different viewpoint on different type of universities and different type of curriculums and different type of expectations and what they are offering to our people. What they are offering to the minorities and free tuition and things of that nature. So if they have a quota to meet, but how could you hit something that you don't know is there? You know what I'm saying? How can you hit a target you're never aimed for? And so now that you know that, hey, look, all I have to do is just meet these requirements and I can literally get my education free, a lot of people can now go after what they didn't know that was available before. So
education is key. And when my daughter was going through that process, she actually got accepted to Brown, but she ended up going to Western Michigan University. She got a full scholarship there.
Very nice.
Yeah, but her thought process is because she's a musician, but she wanted more diversity, I guess, and she wasn't gonna get that at Brown, so that's the reason why she went to Western Michigan, which turned out to be a great experience for her.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
But one thing I noticed is there's a difference in the South versus the North as far as how the education is and how it is taught, because she's finishing up a PhD at the University of Chicago, but we did a class there, and I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually glad I'm out of school, because what them kids got to know, I was like, wow, my hat's to you. It's off, but it's definitely, I noticed But like you said, you don't know what you don't know. And getting exposed to all these different types of schools and areas is huge. It's huge what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. And even to kind of elaborate on what some of the students were talking about, just that exposure. So they talked about some of their volunteer exposure. But even when we went to like the New York area and Connecticut area and Maryland area, it provided them with the opportunity to visit the White House. It provided them with the opportunity to visit the Supreme Court area. It provided them with the opportunity to visit, to see how money is actually made. Like it doesn't, of course, it doesn't fall off trees or grow on trees, but it actually allowed them to see that entire process and what that looks like. It allowed them to visit the African American Museum and the Holocaust Museum and have that particular experience.
Ooh, that's heavy too.
Yes. And so making sure they have these cultural experience, and we're able to have discussions as it relates to that. And they are actually building their cultural identity, which helps build their self-esteem and confidence.
That international tour, I think, is the icing on the cake, because until you go overseas and you truly see how other people live, I mean, America ain't, it has its issues, but we sitting in a better spot than some of the other countries. So for me, it gave me that more of appreciation of what we do have, So I'm looking forward to y'all international tour. So definitely post pictures.
Thank you.
So you got anything else? Are we ready to switch out for some more kids?
You can go ahead and switch out.
All right, we're gonna take a pause, y'all.
Thank you.
Terradome Entertainment. We turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities. If your dream is to become a photographer, we have a nice intimate photo studio just for you. If you want to record that next hit song or do voiceover work, we have a state-of-the-art studio also for you. If you want to professionally record your own podcast, well, we have that too. Check us out at www.terradomeentertainment.com. We are the only ones to turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities.